Alright, what is up everybody? We are back. Today we're back with the UFC videos because obviously we just had an event take place. I did not make a video on it because I just thought the card was, I don't know, a little too whack. I don't know, I really didn't think it was that great of a card. Really not that many fights that excited me other than the main event, of course. But the aftermath is what excites me, because going into this fight between Sean Strickland and Abus Magomedov, I thought the only possible way we can leave this event and we move forward in the middleweight division would be with an Abus Magomedov win, because obviously that's a new prospect, that's a new challenger, and perhaps another person for Izzy to fight. But with Sean Strickland winning and not just defeating Abus, but the way in which he defeated him, it's got me thinking, what's next in the middleweight division? Let's get into it. So obviously the champ Israel Adesanya, he has defeated a majority of the top contenders. You look, the number one contender is Alex Pereira. He defeated him, he knocked him out. Is there going to be a trilogy? Possibly. Is it going to be at middleweight? The answer is probably no. Obviously Pereira has a fight with Jan Blachowicz, but I really don't see that fight being at middleweight. I don't know. Number two, Robert Whittaker. Now him we're going to get back to because he's fighting Duplessis. But yeah, obviously he already got beaten twice by Adesanya, but still, is he going to get a third shot at Izzy? Potentially. We'll get back to him. Number three, Jared Cannonier. He's likely one of the next guys in the line. Problem is, he just fought. Same thing with Vettori, except he's coming off a loss, so not getting a title shot. Dricus Du Plessis, like I said, we'll get back to him. Paulo Costa, he's likely out of the UFC, which is unfortunate because I'm a big Paulo Costa fan. But anyway, he has a fight coming up anyway. Who's he fighting? I forgot. What's his name? I think it's the guy that recently won and called out. Yeah, Ellis Croft. I think that's his name. Yeah, I think that's the guy that won on the 288 undercard and then called out Bo Nickel. I think that's him, right? And then we get to Sean Strickland. Now, Strickland is interesting because he just won his fight. You got to think, can you give him a title shot? All right, so he fought Pereira. That was a loss. He got knocked out. Cannonier, I thought he beat. Again, I thought I scored at 48-47 Cannonier, if I remember. Oh yeah, rather 48-47 Strickland against Cannonier, if I remember correctly. There were some people I think saying 49-46. I honestly don't remember. That fight was in December. It was a while back. But I remember I had it for Strickland. Maybe I scored it wrong. I haven't rewatched it, certainly. But this got me thinking, is Strickland truly the next guy for the title shot? Alright, let's say he beat Cannonier. Let's suppose that he beat him. He beat Imavov on extremely short notice, and now he beat this Magomedov guy. That's 3 wins. 3 wins against, granted, not exactly top contenders. I mean, Cannonier is a top contender. Imavov is a contender, not a top one, but a contender. And then Magomedov was a prospect. And then before that Pereira loss, who'd he beat? He beat Hermanson, Uriah Hall, Brendan Allen. Honestly, Strickland might be the next guy for the title shot. Because look, you have UFC 293 coming up, and it's in Australia. So you're likely going to have Izzy main eventing that card. He needs someone to fight. And right now, I guess we're going to go back to that Whittaker-Du Plessis fight that I'm talking about. I'll go over it more in my UFC 290 breakdown, which is coming sometime this week. But you have Robert Whittaker, the number 2 contender, fighting the number 5, or I guess tied for 5, contender in Dricus Du Plessis. Now, if you are a neutral fan, you're not a fan of either Whittaker or Du Plessis, you likely want Du Plessis to win this one, because obviously Whittaker has already had his 2 chances. I mean, the first one, technically, Whitaker was the champion, but it was weird. You know, he won the interim belt against Yoel Romero. Then GSP was the champion who vacated. Whitaker got promoted. Then Izzy won the interim belt, and Whitaker lost. So technically, Whitaker never won the undisputed belt. But that's not to say that he has not had some great fights. Since that win over, or rather since that loss to Adesanya, the first one, he beat Darren Till, and he beat Jared Cannonier, and then he beat Kelvin Gastelum. And that got him a title shot. But honestly, those are 3 top contenders. Cannonier, who's still a top contender. Gastelum, who's rising back up again. He's not I wouldn't say he's a top contender right now, but he's fighting Shavkat down at a welterweight. So Kelvin Gastelum was definitely a top contender at the time, and Darren Till certainly was a top contender at the time. At welterweight, at middleweight, maybe not really, but at welterweight, he was definitely a top contender. So he won those 3 fights. That got him a title shot against Izzy. Didn't win, although some people were saying he won. I personally had it for Izzy. And then he fights Vettori, and he wins that one again. So you look at all the top contenders that Robert Whitaker has beaten. Cannonier, Vettori, and then down the line, you had guys like Gastelum and Darren Till. So really, Whitaker has cleaned out most of the top guys. The Whitaker versus Pereira would be an interesting fight, but obviously it looks like Pereira is done at middleweight. He's probably moving up. The Paulo Costa fight was supposed to happen at 284 in Australia. Really sad that one didn't materialize, because I think that would have been a great fight. Does Whitaker deserve a title shot again after already losing to Izzy and then only beating Vettori and then, I guess, Duplessis? I mean, those are 2 top 5 contenders, but does that get him a title shot after already lost one? If he was this new prospect coming up, he beats Vettori, he beats Duplessis, absolutely get him in there. We're talking about a seasoned guy that has had multiple opportunities at the title. So I guess my question is, if Robert Whitaker beats Duplessis, does that guarantee him a title shot? Especially considering that he's fighting at UFC 290, and Izzy is most likely fighting at UFC 293. That's a 3-month turnaround. But you know someone who can make that 3-month turnaround, because he's done it before? Dricus du Plessis. He fought on UFC 282. Yep, that one was in Vegas against Till. And then he fought at 285 on the Jones Gone undercard against Derek Brunson. That's a 3-month turnaround. He's done it before. And then from 285, I'm guessing, to 290, that's a 5. But there was also the Usman fight there. So yeah, that's a 4-month turnaround. Not the Usman fight. I meant the Usman-Edwards card. Because usually you 1 pay-per-views every month, but there's always that 1 month with 2 pay-per-view events. So yeah, that's a 3-month turnaround for Duplessis, and then a 4-month turnaround. Duplessis is a very active guy, and apparently he's gotten his nose. He had breathing problems. He got that taken care of, so that only helps him. I think if you're a neutral fan, you want Duplessis to win this one. He's a new challenger, and he's a guy that has beef with Adesanya. But okay, so here's the guys we went over. We went over Pereira, went over Whitaker, Cannonier, Vettori, Duplessis, Costa, Strickland. Strickland's the one I'm kind of on the fence about, because I don't know. Does that guarantee him a title shot that's win over Magomedov? Does he need to fight one more guy? Maybe. Then again, who does he fight? Does he fight? No, he doesn't fight Vettori. Vettori, they're teammates. Does he rematch Cannonier? He said he's not exactly interested in that because he thinks he beat him. Do you get Strickland versus Whitaker? But then again, for that fight to materialize, does Whitaker have to win or lose? I don't know. And then we move on to, I think, my most interesting one yet. Because from what it looks like, we're still a few months away from the return of a certain former champion. In that case, we already had a potential double champ fight in Australia this year, Volk versus Makhachev. Because I don't think anyone mentioned this before, but what about an Adesanya versus Jamal Hill fight at light heavyweight? Now, Adesanya has moved up to light heavyweight before he challenged down Blachowicz, and the thing about Jan is he's fighting Pereira. So he already has a fight with Blachowicz, which Blachowicz won. And Adesanya was supposed to be that marketable star. He was supposed to be this double champ. And Blachowicz put an end to that momentarily. And he's fighting Alex Pereira, who is currently 1-1 with Izzy. And there's a storyline there as well. Now, I don't know if this is even possible. But say Adesanya beats him. He already has his next challenger at light heavyweight. It's going to be the winner of Blachowicz versus Pereira. There's a storyline there. And Yuri Prochazka, is he coming back? In December, he said he needs a year. From August to December, that's a potential fight. I know they're trying to save Jamal Hill to fight him. But, I don't know. I think Jamal needs to... He can get one more fight in before Prochazka. If he gets Adesanya and he beats him, that adds to the legacy tremendously. And if he loses and Adesanya's a double champ, then there's a storyline. But then again, can you really justify giving the winner of Blachowicz and Pereira a title shot before Yuri Prochazka and before Ankalaev? Adesanya's pretty much out of title contenders. The only one I could possibly see happening is if Cannonier beats another big name. Perhaps a Cannonier-Whittaker rematch would be cool too, because I think right now Cannonier is the leading contender. He just needs one more fight to get that title shot. But what if Izzy moves up to light heavyweight? Just something to think about. Anyway, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of my idea of Izzy potentially moving up at UFC 293 and fighting Jamal Hill for that light heavyweight title. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. Let me know who you think the next challenger for the 185 belt is. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.